and gentlemen, we are here with Donald Hester,
Yes.
Commandant of of the Marine Corps Fleet Delta Diablo Detachment 1155. First and foremost, thank you so much for your service. Before
Thank
I
you.
begin, uh, soon to be happy birthday to the Marines.
Yes.
You guys have you guys celebrating the 250th birthday of the U.S. Marines at Smith's Landing
Correct.
in Antioch
Yep.
and I have the date here
November 8th.
on November 8th. So coming up. So many questions I want to ask about this. Let's just kind of begin with this. Can you explain what the event is? Like, what is? Because I feel like this is different than the Marines Ball. I would understand, right? Or am I wrong on that?
You're not 100% wrong, but so
For what it's worth, journalists are never 100% right, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Each organization within the Marine Corps, no matter where they are deployed around the world, they will celebrate the Marine Corps birthday, and even as veterans, we do that as well. So in the Marine Corps League, we will also do the same type of thing. So you can have a Marine Corps birthday ball when you're out in the middle of the field. You could be out forward in Fallujah, Iraq, or something like that, and you'll still celebrate the Marine Corps birthday. And when we come back as veterans, we also want to continue that tradition. The Marine Corps is very much about tradition, and one of the traditions is the Marine Corps birthday. And one interesting thing about that tradition is the birthday ball is about tradition and passing it on. So as a part of it, there's a cake cutting ceremony that the oldest Marine will hand it to the youngest Marine as a symbol of the older Marines passing on their wisdom and their what they've learned to the younger Marines. And so we still do that today, even as veterans.
Okay, so take me through what you guys be doing in the event. I see just from what I'm seeing from the flyer, the traditional Marine Corps birthday ceremony, a reading of the Commandant's birthday message. I'm assuming you'll be reading that.
Yes.
The cake cutting ceremony, we just talked about that, and then just pretty much it seems like a big party from that point on.
Yes.
Right? So does that pretty much sum up the night?
Yes. Obviously, there's a full formal dinner. There will be a toast. There's the cake cutting ceremony. There is the Commandant Lejeune's message, and then the current Marine Corps Commandant's message, and we'll do that via video. And then we open it up for time for cocktail hour or celebration for that. It's really also about the camaraderie of being together with your fellow Marines and veterans. It's open to other veterans as well and families as well, of course. So we actually have quite a few folks that are either sailors or soldiers that are also coming because they want to celebrate with us.
So for those who don't know what the Marine Corps League is, can you kind of the elevator pitch kind of explain what it is?
So the Marine Corps League is a veteran service organization. We were founded in the 1940s, and we have detachments across the United States, very similar to VFW, American Legion, except for we're about Marines. In addition to that, I always look at it this way. When we were in the Marine Corps, we served. And when we came home, we still want to serve our community. And so that's what we do. We just do it in a different uniform, so to speak. So instead of, being out in the battlefield or being training, we serve our communities locally. We serve our local veterans, help them and their families. We help out with Toys for Tots. In addition to that, we do honor guards and color guards for memorial services or parades or anything like that. And then we also uphold the Marine Corps traditions. And one of those is the ball, and gets us back to that thing. But it's really about camaraderie. And when you're in the military, the guy next to you has your back. When you get out in the civilian world, that's not always the case. So this gives us an opportunity to come together and still have each other's back.
Talk about how important something like this is, especially for the Marines. And I ask that because, you have American Legion, you have VFW,
Yeah.
excuse me, and then with you guys, Marine Corps League, how important is something like this for Marine veterans, whether they just got out, they've been out for a couple of years? How important is it to have the community aspect where it is Marines? It's a very different life, and then coming back, I know it's harder in itself. So to have that kind of community behind you, where it is for other veterans, guys who've been there, done. How important is that?
It's super important. You've probably heard the statistics about how high veteran suicide rates are. And one of those issues are they just don't have support when they get out, right? And that's where we want to help. Other older veterans that have gone through this, we have a lot of Vietnam veterans that came back to no welcome whatsoever. They've gone through it. They understand it. They want to help those veterans that are coming back now. So to all those younger Marines, I'd say, we're here for you, right? We're here to help you in a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's just about being there and being an encouragement to them. Sometimes it's to take a phone call in the middle of the night and help talk them down. But we're there for them and we have their back. And that's why it's so crucial. My grandfather came back from as a prisoner of war from World War II. And when he came home, the only thing that really helped him, because they didn't know what PTSD was back then. And if you're a prisoner of war, obviously you would have had a traumatic experience. When he returned, the only support that he had was his local VFW post. And at least he was with other veterans that understood what he was going through, and that helped him get through. Veterans that have gone through some of that stuff and don't have any support structure, it's much more difficult. That's why in the service we had each other's back, and that's why afterwards we have each other's back. And so it's super critical that we have those meetings and that we're there for one another.
If I may ask, how long ago did you serve?
I served from 91 to 98.
Okay, so you would
between everything.
Go between.
Yes. Tweener.
Betweener, Desert Storm, go
yeah.
Forever, right?
Yeah.
If I may ask, when you got out, what was it like? Did it take you a while to kind of find the Marine Corps League? Was it, if I may ask?
Yeah, I knew about the Marine Corps League when I was in because the unit that I was in, one of the Marine Corps League folks came in and talked to us. Mm-hmm. I didn't give it a second thought when I got out. I was like, I don't have nothing to do with this. I just want to leave and get as far away from Marine Corps stuff as possible. Right. But I think over the years, I met another person who was in the Marine Corps League in the detachment in Lafayette. And I was young in my career and I was kind of like struggling, trying to get my way. And he became sort of a mentor to me on my career side, which had nothing to do with the Marine Corps. Somebody I could talk to, I understood, could sort of help me kind of say, okay, you're going to have a professional career. These are the types of things you need to do. You learned how to dress appropriately in the Marine Corps. Look squared away in your uniform when you go for a job interview and stuff like that. Should have been obvious, but it was helpful to have another person there to help him. He had been in the Marine Corps for a long period of time, but he'd been also out for a long time and was very successful in his line of work. And so his wisdom that he had, he passed down to me like Marines do. So
you've been in Marine Corps League now for, if I'm asked,
20 years. I think it's actually 20 years.
It took you a couple years to kind of get into it.
Yeah.
With that said, you guys have members pretty much all over, pretty much a lot throughout East County, a lot throughout Contra Costa County.
Right.
Which you mentioned earlier, how as far as
our service area kind of covers everything on this side of Mount Diablo. So from Pittsburgh all the way out to, we have a member in Clayton, we have members out in Byron. So we kind of Brentwood, Antioch, Oakley,
throughout the Highway 4 corridor, pretty much.
We do have some distant members. So we have one in Arizona. So we do have some long distant members, but generally we cover East Contra Costa County.
Well, you mentioned earlier how like when you were in, you got someone from the Marine Corps League kind of. Are you that guy now? Did that kind of to go? Or are you mostly just here, not visiting? If I'm asked.
What was the question?
Are you? You mentioned earlier that when you were in, you had someone come in and talk to you about.
Oh yeah.
Are you that guy now?
No, I haven't. Okay. I haven't got that chance yet.
Okay,
but
that feels very full circle. That was in a way, right?
Yeah. Maybe I should try that.
Would that be something you would do?
Yeah, absolutely. I've in my current role, my current career now, I do run into Marines from time to time. They're active duty now. I obviously tell them always about the Marine Corps League, and they don't have to wait until they get out to join the Marine Corps League. They can join while they're in, just to have the benefits of having somebody to talk to that's a veteran. We've helped some veterans who were. I had a good friend that was a veteran. He did something. He wasn't a veteran yet. He did something wrong while he was in the military service, and he called me asking my advice. And I told him, I said, you know what? Your commanding officer wants two things from you. He wants you to tell him the truth too, and fess up when you do something wrong, and then correct it, right? And so I advised him. I said, you did something wrong. Don't try to fight it. Just say, I let my Marines down. I shouldn't have done that. and then it's not going to happen again, and then make sure it doesn't happen again. He did that, and so he was actually able to ended up with an honorable discharge, ended up not having anything adverse happen to him. His other buddy that was in it decided he was going to fight it and say, circumstances or whatever, it was okay for me to do this, and it wasn't. He fought it. He got court-martialed and got kicked out of the Marine Corps. So he has a dishonorable discharge. So the difference is taking responsibility and then making sure you don't do it again. Fess up to your mistakes. Right. He got that by calling me and asking, hey, I need some advice. I really screwed up, and now I don't know what to do. That was my advice. He took it, and it worked out well for him. So, I mean, I try to give that advice back like I got it.
Right. Definitely value as far as having that. Let me ask you this. Just being a Marine veteran and now 250 years, celebrating 250 years of the Marines, what does that mean to you? Oh. As we kind of get to this point.
Yeah. 250 years, you don't reflect on it, but there's been so many places in the world and so many different missions that the Marine Corps has completed over the last 250 years. And we've just served with distinction in every one of those. And we have numerous Marines that are double Congressional Medal of Honor winners. So that's not something to take lightly. But it's always been about service. It's always been about this country and making sure that we pass the country on to the next generation.
I have to ask you about this. To have it in, we kind of talked about this a little bit, but to have it in Antioch, to have it at Smith's Landing, what, focusing on the party, like focusing on the event, what led to the location?
We move around location almost every year. So every year it's a different location. So we've had it in a number of different locations. And we try to make sure that we're kind of like covering our entire service area, everywhere from Byron to Pittsburgh. So we've, over the last 20 years, we've had it all over the place, and we haven't had it in Antioch in a while. So that was part of our decision to move it out there. Also, we're looking for a little bit larger of a venue. We're hoping to get more attendees this year because it's the 250th anniversary. So we need a little bit larger space as well.
Do you normally just get people from the detachment, or is it also people like even from outside? Oh, so it's
no,
in general.
We invite people from outside. We put an ad in the press. We want all the Marines to come, even if they're not going to join us. We'd still like to celebrate with them. So we'd love them to join. We'd love to have them help us help veterans and help each other and have each other's back. But if that's not the case, then we'd love to just, celebrate with them.
If I have it right, the date is close to, if not just before Veterans Day.
Just before Veterans
Day. That Saturday before, right?
Yeah.
To kind of have an event like this, in a sense, kind of kick off Veterans Day weekend.
Yeah.
How special is that?
That's always the nice thing about the Marines' birthday, because it's November 10th is the actual birthday.
Right.
And it's always right around Veterans Day, right? So depending on when it gets celebrated or whatever. Well, no, it's always 11th, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's all, for us, it's always about Veterans Day. I mean, when you're in the Marines, you don't think about Veterans Day when you're active duty. When you get out, then you're a veteran. So then Veterans Day has a different meaning. But having the Marine Corps birthday there as a veteran, as a Marine veteran, it makes it like a whole part of is one longer celebration, I guess, is the way to look at it. I always look at it this way. Everybody has Halloween, and then they say, okay, it's time for Thanksgiving. I said, whoa.
Veterans Day right there.
We have the Marine Corps birthday first.
Oh, so, that's totally fair.
Then we can start talking about Thanksgiving.
You have to let Target know to kind of not get too far ahead, right?
There you go.
And if so, for those who are interested in going, I mean, how can they buy tickets? How can they reach out?
If you go to our website, mcl1155.org, you can find information about the tickets on there. You can just buy them on there. We have like 3 choices. It's chicken, beef, or fish, and then it comes with the cake, obviously, and there's a bar there that you can purchase your own drinks for.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming. This is awesome.
Thank you.
This is really good. And once again, thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
Donald Hester, the Delta Diablo Detachment, the Commandant for the Marine Corps Fleet, Delta Diablo Detachment 1155.
Yes. So it's a mouthful.
Oh, it's a tongue twister. Thank you so much again. Appreciate it.
Thank you.